What's going on, guys, and welcome to your introduction here with Pro Street Sean. I'm Sean, and we're going to be going over the introduction part of this video, trying to let you guys know what I'm all about, what the channel's going to be about, what we're going to do, all that great stuff. The first episode, since we're going into the winter time here, middle of the fall, racing season's over with, so I'm changing engines. My old engine's sitting right back here behind me that I have already sold to my buddy. It wasn't fast enough, and we'll get into the backstory on why I sold that engine a little later on, but that is the old engine. It's a 406, bunch of stuff done to it. Anyway, we're making a big change from old school to obviously new school. Can't beat them boys out there with turbos, and I'm not buying nitrous because it's an hour drive to go fill up bottles. And yeah, I just plain out admit it. I'm too broke for all that. So nitrous is out of the question, old school out of the question, and Junkyard LS is in the picture. It's not really going to be the Junkyard LS. I've got several laying around that I've been stockpiling for the last couple months with my pops. He'll probably be in these videos eventually as well, I'm sure, since I'm still learning. He's the Grandmaster Mafier that does all this engine building, has been doing all this engine building for 20 plus years, and he's also a certified auto potty tech that's been painting for over 20 years. Now I dabble with it, not painting. Hate painting with a passion. I am not a painter. Artistic touch, zero for me. But as far as building engines and stuff like that, I love it. I'm learning, doing what I can. Normally I'm the one that touches everything, and usually I'll have a problem and I'll yell at him and be like, hey, come figure this out for me. And this is his shop, not mine. I don't have a shop. I mean, I do, it's over that direction, but there's no way in hell that we're filming over there. Not for a while. We gotta clean that thing out. But anyways, the introduction, I mean, pretty much cut and dry. We're going LS, turbos, and we're gonna break off the first episodes of building an LS, building it for what I'm trying to do, which I'm trying to accomplish 1,000 wheel horse in a car that weighs 3,300 pounds. Yeah, shooting for around somewhere in the 8-second range, middle to high 8s. And it might go faster than that because I haven't bought a turbo yet, but I've got injectors that will support pretty much anything that I want to do, up to around 1,033 wheel horse or 1,032 or something like that. We're running stock rods, stock pistons, stock rings, gapped. Sorry, heard something. Stock rings, gapped. And really the only special thing about it is I'm taking the 4.8 Gen 3 parts out of a 4.853 block, throwing them in a bucket, and taking these 4th gen components and slapping them into the 4.353 block and making it a 5.3, because it is a 5.3 4th gen block that I'm taking all the parts out of, and we're going to leave it practically stock. This right here is the biggest change. No, I'm not sponsored in any way. But that's the biggest change right there. So we are changing cams, springs, push rods. I've got trunnion upgrades. I'm gonna run a stock intake, shaved. It's not a bread loaf, and it's not an SS or anything like that. It is literally a stock Silverado intake. It's whatever. You don't need a fancy intake. From everything I've read anyways. I may be wrong. I might buy one in the future just to make it look pretty, but I don't really want to pop my hood. Because, yeah, we're going to try to get off in this the right way. But I plan on street racing the car. Trying to get invites to go places and stuff like that. We're in between Milan, Michigan and Martin, Michigan, and Stanton's just above us and all that great stuff. Martin doesn't really have anything that goes on over there, but at Milan they got the Detroit Hood TV stuff that's always going off. They got the G-Body shootouts, they got, you know, the pour your own puddle events. They've got all sorts of stuff, and I would like to go over there and try to compete, see what I can do. Car I'm racing, we'll get into that later. Don't want to really reveal what car I have. That's why we're going to start with the engine and go over the engine aspects, and I'll give you sneak peeks and stuff like that of the car, I'm sure. Or I'll probably mess up and just put it in a video one of these days, because I've never done this before. I've never made a video for YouTube, and it is very weird staring at this camera right now and talking to you all. Hopefully all, as in a lot of people. Maybe not. Maybe I'm talking to 2 or 3 people around here that know that I'm going to try to start up a YouTube channel. I have no clue. I don't even know what I'm going to name the channel yet. But I do know what we're going to do. Because it's rather I have a crowd following me or not, this camera's going to be on me, and I'm going to be building this stuff, so making it work. Oh, and I do have one other upgrade that no one seems to do for whatever reason. Head studs, and they are not ARP. I believe these are, yeah, honestly I don't really remember. Hang on one second, I got it right here. What's this say? West Coast. That's not mine. What does this say? What's this thing right here? Doesn't say anything. But they're not ARP. I'm not spending the money for ARP bolts on newer stuff, especially when I have a buddy that is going 9s in a fucking Blazer, pardon my language, in a Blazer, 9s in a Blazer, with factory reused, 7 times reused head bolts. And all he does is just run them until they stop. Don't know how it works, don't know why it works, but it's crazy insane. And he's reused the head gaskets 4 times on the things too. I don't understand it, because you pull a head gasket off one of these old school things, you better go buy a new head gasket, because that thing's in a leak, especially on a 400 block. Anywho, that's what we're doing. Let's say I can probably go pick this camera up. I'll show you guys kind of what I got laid out on the table here, because I got spring upgrade, obviously the 660 springs. Got the version 2 Brian Tooley trunnion rockers. I've got the 11/32 push rods upgrade chromoly, 1 piece, and then I've got my Snake Eater injectors over here. And why I chose Snake Eaters over Holley or anything else is obviously because of the cost, but I've never seen a bad review on Snake Eaters yet, and I'm new to this whole game, and they're a small company, and I'd rather support a small company than, you know, Holley. I like Holley, love Holley, don't get me wrong, but Holley's $700 or something like that for injectors, and those were only $400. So yeah, and if my buddy's doing it with cheap SEMA Decas in his car, I'm gonna go with cheap big Snake Eaters and see how they do. And I've already watched other people on YouTube that are in love with Snake Eaters, And it kind of shows because in the middle of the racing season, you can't even order snake eaters. You got to get on there Friday, like 5 minutes before they upload their stuff, keep on refreshing everything until they pop up and order them before someone else in the world does, because everyone's on there trying to get their hands on snake eaters. So obviously that says something. Probably says more or less that their manufacturing is a little lower than, you know, Holley. Obviously Holley's a big warehouse, I'm sure, but yeah.
Here we got our push rods, 660 springs. I was cheap and I bought the steel retainers. I'm not buying titanium retainers. I got titanium retainers on old school stuff. Never seen a difference, don't really care. Got some valve seals. Cam, which is a pain in the ass to open. This cam is the Stage 2 turbo cam. Version 2 trunnion upgrades, all the bearings, the clips, the whisker do's, the whisker don'ts, with and without the kitty chaser, washers. And right here we got our 1500cc snake eaters. And then we got the cheap eBay head studs. And that's it right now. That's all we got. And then we got our cheap 12-point head stud bolts. Better than stock, I would assume. So, and these heads are not mine, these are my father's. But I'll take you over here. This right here is what I am working with. This is a 4/8 block. And this has, I don't think I'm running these heads, but what heads are these right now? These are the 862 heads. I don't think I'm running those. I think the heads I'm running are actually above me in this loft here. This is my dad's block, which is the aluminum 5.3. It's whatever the heck it is. I can't remember what they called this one. Some weird numbers. I want to call it the LM7, but it's older than that because it's the 3rd gen aluminum block with 4th gen internals. Same with this one, and this nasty one over here is mine, but this has everything in it still. Those are the 4th gen pistons, 4th gen rods. Crank doesn't matter, but as anyone knows, 4th gen rods and pistons will support 1,400 horse, according to Google. And Google's never wrong. So neither is YouTube Mechanics either. Yeah. So that's the dealio. That's what we're gonna try to do is build a 5.3, make 1,000 horse. Easy as that, right? Probably not. Some of the other things I'm gonna go with on the car, which is yet to be named or seen. I'm going to go with the Terminator X, not the X Max, obviously. I'm going to run a Turbo 400 for the moment. No. Alright, no. I forgot if we did that deal or not, but I traded the 400 to my dad. And I'm going to run a Power Glide actually next year. I got to take that up to the shop today sometime. I forgot all about that. What time is it? Yeah, and I got to go to work in 15 minutes. So, yeah, I don't sit here all day and make money. I wish I could. But anyways, I'm going to run a 2-speed Power Glide with a 3800 cone converter. Everyone says it's too much converter. Run an 1/8 mile. I don't know. What the hell do I know? I don't know anything about a turbo car other than what I've leached off of my buddy. He knows everything that is important. And yeah, I mean, he doesn't know everything, but he knows enough to get us in trouble, and his shit's fast. Which is, yeah, we'll get into that later. But yeah, 2-speed Power Glide, trans brake, 3800 cone. I'm running that training, so I don't need the X Max. I'm just going to run the Terminator X
and I'm gonna buy the dash kit and all that stuff with it, buying the Ethernet cable because I want to tune on my computer. I do not want to tune on something as small as my phone, sitting there in the middle of the night trying to see things I can only imagine. Yeah, so I'm buying the Ethernet cable so that I can just plug it into my computer, do all that. The dash will actually do the data logging as well, so I don't have to plug my computer in and do what my buddy does and launch his car and watch his computer go slide all the way to the back of his Blazer and smash up against the back of the hatch there, which is pretty hilarious, and yes, it does happen a lot. So yeah, I'll just gonna run all that. What else do I need to do? I need to add roll cage to my car, so we'll probably get into that in some part of the episodes. I gotta do some chassis stuff to it. I need some serious love, so you guys probably will see it before the motor is in the car. But I gotta put shocks on it, switching shocks. What else was I gonna do? Switching shocks. Gonna have to do something with the engine mounts, obviously, because the old school engine mounts, I can't find the adapter to fit to it from LS to that. So I gotta take the solid mounts out of it for that block and find something else. What else was I gonna do? I was gonna do something else. I gotta put new front tires on it because I'm currently robbing front tires for another wonderful street car that I have over here that is a 4-letter word and foreign to me, even worse than an LS. We'll get into that later too. Got a lot of stuff going on, and this is kind of like fly by the script. Didn't really plan this out. Didn't even think I was gonna hit the record button because it's terrifying talking to a camera. I can't even lie, I don't know how people do it. But another thing I want to say about all this stuff over here that I already showed you guys, all these parts, I'm not sponsored by anybody by any means. I'm an average Joe. I bust my ass 24 hours a day to make this work. And even if you ask my pops, he'll tell you definitely that I don't do that at all. I sleep 24 hours a day and I do nothing but bitch, moan, and everything else. Yeah. But that's just how it is. Yeah, I work for all the stuff that I got here. Wheel a deal, flip cars, do whatever I can do to get an extra buck to go buy race car parts. So, with that being said, there's no sponsorship anywhere. I wish. About the only sponsorship I'm going to put on the back of my car is a machine shop, and my dad's been buddies with the dude for over 20 years, and he lets us go up there and do all of our machining for nothing. And I'm not going to name his name because, yeah. But all I can say is I will be putting a sticker on the back of my car for his shop here soon, and that is about the only person that really sponsors me. Other than that, nobody. No help from mommy and daddy. None of that stuff. No help from any family. Got help from friends as far as elbow grease goes. But that goes hand in hand around here. So he helps me with my car, I help him with his car. I mean, it's just the way it's supposed to be. But that's pretty much it for the introduction, and next video we'll be jumping into tearing down this 4.8, turning her into a 5.3, and throwing all these goodies, or some of these goodies, in it. I might break it down into like several parts, like put a cam in and do something else, because there's not really much to do. I could do it in a day. I got all winter. Might as well do it right and overdo it and underdo it and not do it right. But until the next episode, guys, see you next time.